10,
9, 8,
7,
6,
3,
2,
1.
0.
Testing, testing. Good evening, and welcome to Dash League Network's coverage of Sexy vs. Force, the draft league match in Hyperdash. I'm your caster, Mr. Popular. Hopefully being joined shortly by Percent here in the booth, but until then, enjoy these cool tunes as we wait for the rest of the teams to actually show up, and we'll get this thing started for you. This is a real quick test. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic match of the Hyperdash Draft League. This is Sexy versus Force. It does look like all the players have shown up at this point, so we should get started very shortly. I'm your caster, Mr. Popular. Hopefully we'll be joined in the booth by some of the cool kids, but until then, it'll just be you and me. This should be a fun match, actually. I'm looking across these names. I mean, you got some heavy hitters. Just a few: Benji, Arrowhead, Destroyer, Spoons.com, Universal. This could be pretty crucial. Looks like here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Match starts in 3, 2, 1.
Red doing a fantastic job of just holding them here. Just absolutely stopped. Card hasn't moved in the last 45 seconds, I'd say. Blue trying to make a presence. Okay, they've finally got a guy on. They're moving down the ramp. 2 on, make up for some lost time. Red clears him out, no problem. Hey, buddy. How are you today?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Been having a few old fashions.
A few old fashions?
I've been getting into the bourbon really.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing to get into.
Oh, it's fun, man. I mean, fun and also awful. I don't totally recommend it. It's like a horrible pain. I should probably spend an average of like, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours a day driving to liquor stores to see if they have like allocated bourbons in stock. It's great.
What's your favorite these days?
I'm gonna sound like a noob, but Blanton's.
I was hoping you'd say that. That's my absolute favorite bourbon.
Awesome, awesome. Happy to hear it. Yeah, no, I've been really lucky to find a few bottles of it. I'm very tenacious in any hobby that I get into, like Hyperdash or whatever, and I've been lucky to find a handful of good stuff. So I'm pretty into it now. And yeah, Bland's is great. E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare.
You tried Bullet?
Yeah, no, Bullet's good.
A little harsher.
Like the more available stuff, I'm really into like 1792 small batch.
Ooh.
Knob Creek single barrel 120 proof is something I've started to like. At first I was like, oh god, this stuff is brutal. But
Aren't the best ones?
Letting it air out a little bit, it's like pretty cool. Yeah, no, right. No, I'm starting to learn that for sure. So there's a whole world out there that like if you're not into bourbons, like there's just so much to like learn. It's crazy. Because at first I was like, you know, bourbon tastes like bourbon, or there's like harsh bourbon and there's smooth bourbon.
There's so much more to it.
There's so much more to it. There's so much depth. Right now we've got Sexy moving into position to make this checkpoint. It's gonna be close though. Obviously, what is it, Ace? Is that what they're going by? They're gonna.
Was it Ace? I was calling it Force.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's Force. Force. Cute name. But that said, Sexy kind of establishing a bit of a hold here with Arrowhead pushing up and sort of breaking down any defense that's pushing into here. They do have rockets though, and I don't see much of an urgency to get those rockets out.
No, I mean, they're coming off of... This is the second time that they've held them for over 20 seconds in a single location.
Epic stuff.
Ooh,
Okay,
right
so
in the
it
face.
says we're watching Arrowhead, but we're clearly not, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
there's someone on defense. Alright, just a little bit of a...
Don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, I'll take it. Minute 17 seconds left. Plenty of time to get to this checkpoint, and that's going to be crucial. I'm looking over there, and I see Destroyer is 21 and 13, Arrowhead 18 kills, and who's that? Benji at 17. They've got some bangers on that side, and then you've got .com at 20 kills and 12. That's really great, KD. Outsider not far behind at 16, and you get Universal at 14. So Universal must have switched teams. I think he was on Noggle's team at first, and there have been some shift-ups here as this season's progressed. I know a lot of people have started to either not show up or kind of have real life get in the way. One of the sort of flaws with the draft league is you just never know what's going to pop up when you draft a guy. And here we go. We've seen this classic strat before where they pound the cart with those shocks, and there they go. They break checkpoint with 30 seconds left. And so now's the task for like Force to get it's gonna be tough. They've got to push in here, and they've got to get the cart stopped as much as possible before they can really set up. Every time they get in here, they're gonna face more and more of the Sexy team. Sexy, that's a funny team to have to talk about, but that is their name. Oh man, that's brutal. Killing yourself in the front of the cart is what I assume just happened. I wish they would fix a few things with that. Sometimes you dash in front of the cart, and you're not even dashing towards the cart, but it still kills you.
I know that all too well.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
So I took a look at, on the technical side of this, trying to fix that name. All the other data coming out of the game is correct. So I don't know why the name isn't changing. But if that's the only error I have today, I'll take it.
Absolutely. So right now I've moved on to a Buffalo Trace Old Fashioned.
Ooh.
Buffalo Trace is very easy to find in my area. Like nothing else made by Buffalo Trace except for Buffalo Trace itself. And it's something I can like pretty regularly find and drink, and it's awesome. My brother tells me like where he's at, he can get Bowman really easily. And for me, I walked into a couple liquor stores looking for it, and they're all like, "Oh, that's allocated." I'm like, "What? What does allocated even mean anymore, people?"
Does it mean, does money not talk?
It means whatever the company who like distributes it wants it to mean. So.
Oh, they're holding
doesn't
it.
mean
They're holding
rare.
it back so that it increases the value.
Yeah, exactly. I guess they're like, look, we're gonna make this into something by just like preventing you from being able to get it easily.
Sounds like if it's in the store, it's not allocated. It's allocated to be sold.
Yeah, pretty much. Have you tried John J. Bowman single barrel?
No, in fact, when you said Bowman, I was like, Bowman? You mean the plastic bottle stuff?
No, God, no, not plastic bottle. No. Bowman is it's supposedly the same mash bill as Blanton's, and it's distilled twice in the Buffalo Trace distillery, and then it's sent to Virginia to finish up one final distillation before they barrel it and age it in Virginia.
Where do they age it in Virginia? Just out of curiosity.
Near Fairfax.
No way.
County.
That's that's literally where I live.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You look into the A. Smith Bowman distillery. See if you can take a tour or something.
Yeah, no, I'm looking it up right now.
That's awesome.
There's actually, I was going to mention, there's a good, it's not a bourbon, but there's a good rye whiskey that's made near here called Catoctin Creek.
Ooh, I'll have to look into that. So far for my rye journey, in my entire life, I've basically only ever knew about Sazerac rye because it's like very local to me in New Orleans. And
It's down
I
in
recently
Fredericksburg.
learned
That's where it is.
Fredericksburg, okay. I recently learned there's a world outside of Sazerac ryes, which, by the way, I still love Sazerac, but I've been trying a few different ones. Sajamora is pretty good. There's a few others that like make pretty good ryes, misters, but it is mostly bourbon for me, straight bourbon. Pretty decent defense, but I mean, right now they need to like really push up and establish themselves and get this card down.
We lose the.
With that,
Oh, there we go. Hey, it just switched it to Outsider.
yeah, yep. I could tell it was Outsider by the fact that he had one shotgun in his hand and it was golden. But kind of a classic loadout for him. And he was standing on the cart with an enemy right there. Neither of them were shooting at each other for quite a while. Kind of goes to show the fast-paced nature of this game. You can just totally get distracted by everything that's happening and miss something right under your nose. Minute 48 seconds. This is not bad, and right here they can definitely create a hold that sticks them into the 86 mark, which is what they're going to be hoping to do. And there he goes, suppressing that dash from his enemy team. A lot of people here, but Outsider can team wipe them, and I believe he does. Oh, nice rocket there.
Right in the
Face to
face.
the face. Love to see it. Alright, so are we only watching Outsider? Because if so, he's on
No.
like, the most epic kill streak.
No, it's just, it's not updating when it changes
Okay.
characters.
Okay, alright, because I was just like, man, this guy, the
Is
way
crushing.
he changes weapons, and he's just on this.
Well, I mean,
crazy
now it
character.
is
This
on
the
him.
real Outsider.
Yep.
I was just like, holy shit, dude. Grabs a rocket, kills 5 people with that, switches to SMG. But no, I mean, he's doing a good job.
Oh, there we go. The classic shield. That had to be .com.
Shield's taken out off cart.
Oof.
Alright, so they are pushing it to 86%. They definitely want to push it past here. 86% is a very achievable mark for the enemy unless they hold him at checkpoint. So anything you can get past here is something that you absolutely want to fight for. If they can get 87, 88, that'd be fantastic. Any kind of crazy overtime would be really, really great.
Oh, it's Firehorse rocking it. Dude, okay, but Outsider is crushing it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you see him get with that shotgun, and he can do a lot
he's
of damage.
surgical.
Like, they never had a chance to see him. Like, he kills you, and then he appears on your screen, and you're just like dead. It's pretty epic stuff. And the round ends there with 87%. 87% is not a bad mark to be at. It's defensible, especially because once that cart gets into that little area with the shotgun room, and you've got the alley right there, you can really hold that thing down.
Here's a quick look at the scores, by the
87%
way.
is also beatable. So top scoring, kind of predictably, Destroyer. And on the other end, same thing with .com. I mean, these are the guys you expect to see top scoring on these.
Yeah, but I mean, Outsider, only 3 hits behind him. At least
Yeah,
on the red
yeah,
side,
yeah.
you are seeing a big difference between Destroyer and like the next person.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Benji hasn't played in a very long time. Goblin was definitely dedicated to cart. That was his main task there. Outsider has this very, very, very like noticeable gun hold where he holds his one gun sideways. For a while, the Onyx guys were doing that back when Onyx was a team. I do miss Onyx. Wish they'd come back. Shout out to Zed and Skimos. Zed skis, we used to call them.
Wait, you're saying that they would just all start holding the gun sideways to throw people off?
I think, as a team, I don't think I've ever seen a team really put in more work than Onyx, and they did crazy amount of like POV reviews and like just pure coaching and all stuff like that. And so when they discovered something that worked for them, you'd see all of them start to do it. So that was like one thing that like I noticed that with the Onyx guys, they all had that same gun hold for a bit before switching it up. I called it the gangster hold back then, where you have one gun hold sideways. And you see Outsider still rocking it today, but I mean obviously he wasn't on Onyx, and I'm sure he had that gun hold before them. Look at that. Freak taking a few people out. Looking for that health pickup real quick.
It's interesting. I'm thinking about if you're doing, because he's holding his guns also really close together. So I wonder if there's any bit of that's due to the stability you maybe gather or maybe gain by having your controllers physically touching.
Perhaps. I know that was a meta for a long time. Something that Recco sort of helped establish was like the CV1 gun stock, where you would smash the controllers together in a very specific way that created what was essentially a gun stock. I mean, the same effects in stability at least. And a lot of people followed suit. Still to this day, the CV1's very popular, but you see a lot of people with a CV1 using a much wider gun hold.
No, that's true. I've been working for a while adapting. The one for it's the magnetic stock, but it's for like rifle barrel.
Oh yeah.
So
like,
I'm
like
working.
Mammoth or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm taking the way that it does it is it actually has a 3D printed piece that goes inside the controller, and that's where one of the magnets is. So I'm trying to change the design enough where it's the same thing inside the controllers, but they just attach to each other.
Oh, neat. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some pretty cool stock designs out there. They're very creative people in these communities, and I've seen some really cool 3D printed design. Garbage Man has a really great stock if anyone's got some money and wants to hit him up. Shout out to G-Man. Nice headshot there from a distance.
One of my issues is, though, I don't want to be stuck with the stock. I want to be able to pull apart and do one each way.
Right, absolutely. And that's like the 1V stock. I don't know if everyone knows about that anymore, but he had like several iterations of it, and they were really neat. They would magnet together just like you're talking about.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, you should check out. He has a server called Shoot Straight. He was gonna market and sell them for a while, and then I guess abandoned the concept maybe with the passage of the stock ban, which is, at the time it seemed absolutely necessary because everyone was terrified that like there would be this huge stock meta, and if you didn't buy a stock you couldn't compete. But I feel like nowadays we're all sort of settled in where really being able to move your arms is sort of a crucial portion of this game.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you still have the folks that attach your trigger to one button. If you're doing that, then what does it matter?
Yeah, I think that there's all sorts of variants here. Now, the argument back then for that was that anyone can do that, whereas not everyone can necessarily buy or print a stock. But
oh no,
I
just meant that if
negligible at this
people
moment.
are still like, if you're firing both guns at the same time, then you shouldn't have a problem aiming them at the same target.
Sure, but when I say pulling your arms apart, it's like all right, so like something that I like to do personally is anchor one arm where it's totally focused in on the target, and then the other arm does all the dashing and pickups and everything like that. So you've just got like one arm anchored still.
I
and you're
gotcha.
able to shoot at the enemy while doing that. And I don't know that that would be as easy even with the magnetic stock. I personally probably wouldn't do it even if it became like huge, but I don't know, man. I'd love to see them push the limits with this game in every way possible, including what stocks can do.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of trying to accomplish like movie style dual pistol action. Like for example, Waterway riding up the main rail into their base, and your pistol's out like Jesus on a cross position, and you cap 2 people. Like,
Just do some John Wick type stuff.
yeah, exactly. Well, I was gonna go with Face Off, but that's fair.
Face off, nice. Yeah, no, I mean the wider Silenum gun hold has taken the league by storm, but I think we're starting to see much more variance. Even me, like when I'm fighting, you'll see me switch up gun positions quite frequently depending on the range that I'm at. It makes a big difference for some people, and some people just hold it still the whole game.
Ooh.
Nice pick off the cart right there.
That
6
was.
minutes 45 seconds. I mean, honestly, it's anybody's game here. I don't think that they're like wildly ahead in any sense.
No, I'd agree.
Especially with this defense right here, pretty damn good.
I'd say they're making.
Man.
Oh, what's up, Mod? How you doing, man?
Well, hello,
Hey.
sir.
Howdy, guys. Yeah,
Doing all right.
I've never seen this guy freak before, but he's been playing really good since I've been watching.
Well, so we're not totally sold on it being him. We're not certain because the thing's stuck on one player. So sometimes it is him, sometimes it's his teammate, or something else.
The Hyperdash
okay.
overlays is pulling the data out correctly for everything, except it's not updating the player when it changes. It's
Yeah,
only
earlier I had
updating
the
it
same
at
thought.
matches.
About Outsider, I was like, holy shit, dude, this guy's crushing. But if you look, like this is a red robot, and Freak is a blue player. Nice headshot there. I'm gonna go ahead and guess this is Destroyer right here, just based on the accuracy and the peekers and the hit reg. That just seems like a
The him
Destroyer
not
hit.
dying.
Yeah, you know, he gets shot in the face and lives. That's a classic Destroyer moment. Finally, he dies.
That's a
and,
patented
we're
move,
on
actually.
to POV. Yeah, no, you're not allowed to be as hit reggy as him. It's not allowed. It's,
Did you see the new headsets are coming in October?
October, that's wildly close. Like, I can't believe that they just dropped that. And they dropped it on Joe Rogan? Really? Like, that's insane.
I think so. I think it was the
That's
first
awesome.
mention of the time frame.
And so is that the Quest Pro that we've been hearing about for so long? Cambria?
It seems like it,
It's
yeah. So
it's what
I
Cambria is
don't think it's
becoming.
gonna.
So is
I
that,
don't
is
think
that
it's gonna be any better.
No.
Really. I think it's just like they're just trying to get more headsets sold.
They need
and
a
like, do
release.
face tracking.
Well,
Is it
and
the $1,000
it'll
headset
allow
that we
them to
don't hear?
increase the price of the Quest 2, or increase the price of the headset while not having to decrease the price of the Quest 2.
Alright, so this guy is just insane right now. I think I saw 3 headshots back to back. It's gotta be Destroyer again. Lives up to the name for sure.
So Joe Rogan tried the face tracking, and he said it worked really well, and that it was pretty
Really?
cool.
Face tracking, wow. So you can do like a smile or winks or whatever and it can tell.
Yeah, and apparently it's more than just that. It's like if you raise your eyebrows, if you like squint your face, like stuff like
Wow.
that.
Interesting.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane. So at what point does it just become like you instead of VR?
We can all live in the metaverse if you just join me.
Yeah, I've been watching the podcast the last few hours. I have like 20 minutes left, but it's been pretty good. He's trying to be really like I think Joe wants to get him back on again at some point, so he's like not grilling him too hard.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's pretty tough to get
Oh, no.
Mark Zuckerberg on anything.
Yeah.
Even if
But
you do get him
apparently
in there, it's hard to
Zuckerberg
get
is
him to
now-
just... Yeah.
Apparently Zuckerberg is now like in love with MMA, and he thinks it's the best sport, and he's been
Oh my
training
God.
jiu-jitsu and stuff.
I would pay
I mean,
money
he's
to
not
see
wrong.
that.
He's not
So
wrong.
it's inevitable that he'll, you know, he's just
Oh my God.
he's all if, you know what I mean. Like Zuckerberg probably didn't like Joe up until he started hanging out with surfers who are then
Right.
also jiu-jitsu guys and black belts, and then he hangs out with them, and then they're like, no, Joe's the man, you should go on. Now, you know, it's only a matter of time now that he's into MMA that he'll come
Makes
around.
sense.
Wait, I'm just saying. There's a chance we could see him step into the octagon.
I mean, no, because there's nothing to make him do that. But he will compete in jiu-jitsu eventually. Said he was considering that like
Cool.
in a couple of years.
That's
I'll take
really
what I can
cool.
get.
Love to see it. I'm assuming we're watching. Shit, I don't even know. Is this?
That's some
Goblin
solid
here?
rockets.
Yeah, these are some pretty good rockets right
I
now.
like the rockets in one arm, the SMG covering the doorway.
Now, whoever this is did just take him out. I'm assuming outsider. Ooh, gets crushed by the cart. I hate to see it, but also love to see it.
Yeah, it sucks. They're gonna watch the replay and like not know who's who.
Yeah,
Oh, they'll know.
yeah, they'll know. but
Dang.
we don't.
Holy cow.
Some of these people are gonna be like, "Oh, thank God." And some of these people are gonna be like, "You bastard! That was me. That was me, not Destroyer."
Well, I mean, you can link it up with who's alive and who's got dashes.
That's true.
I think .com is who we're watching now, or were.
I'd
Yeah.
agree. Nope. Well, maybe.
Actually, I don't know because
It was
doesn't
for a
Outsider
second.
have
I
a
was watching
golden
his
rocket?
dashes.
I mean shotgun. So this could be anyone really.
No, this is
Yeah, no,
Destroyer
this isn't
still.
.com.
Oh, this
The
is Destroyer.
colored guns.
She get on the damn cart then.
So
So you hear
87.
87, yeah, no, that's it.
So Destroyer's at 112 kills.
That's absurd.
Yeah, man is cracked, and there's no denying that. There's a reason we picked him up.
Here's the thing, like, I'm looking at, like,
Pretty
Firehorse, Goblin, these are good players.
Yeah,
You know?
unquestionably.
Arrowhead, great player. Benji, great Destroyer, doubling all of their scores.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys didn't get to see it as much as we did last season because he didn't play as many games as we'd have liked him to play. But dude is insane. Him and Flippy would go pretty even on 1v1s. But right now, it's looking like Force is gonna win this match. I mean, 53 seconds left, and they're just inches away from breaking this plane right here.
Looks like
That might
Goblin's
be it right
having
there.
a uncharacteristic bad game here. If Goblin was playing as good as he normally does, this probably would have gone in Red's favor by a good amount.
Well, I know
Yeah,
that
man.
he was the cart pusher for the last round, so that would explain part of it, but not.
It makes it hard. Like if you push the cart first, you can't warm up very well riding
Yep.
the cart and dying. You know.
Well, it sucks because then the whole second match, you're staring at the scores, thinking that you're behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can get to you psychologically for
But
sure.
yeah, 15. I mean, I just played with Goblin like 3 days ago, and he was killing it. So
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
this
Oh,
is
he's
just
a good player.
uncharacteristic
That's gonna be
bad game.
Force
player.
taking it.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And Force is gonna win this match with a second left. They've already made the win, and there it goes. So Force is gonna take the first map.
I
Now,
thought they were ace, but that's cool. Force.
Force.
I thought-
think
I
there
saw
is
it
an
as
ace. There is an ace, but there's also a Force.
So there's our
So does it-
scores.
Does the heads-up display get fixed in between maps, or is it gonna still be?
I don't know.
stuck?
I hold on. Give me 1 second on that. So my policy on it is, if that's the only thing that's wrong right now, I'm just not. Any digging I can do to try and fix it will invariably make something else break. Now I don't know
Imagine-
what we're playing
we're
next
seeing a-
though.
Nah, Firehorse just kind of dropped out and came back. I was wondering if we were gonna see a substitution here.
Let me see. Give me. While we're in the lobby, I'll try and see what I can do and maybe fix this. But I don't think it's something I can fix.
Right, and now, I mean, we're gonna see if there's any chinks in the chain here, and if they can bring things back together. Because we'd love to see that overtime. I mean, we'd love to see that control point.
I think
I figured
Goblin's
it
gonna
out.
play better on this one, and then Red's gonna take it.
I figured
well,
it
not
out. I
Red,
figured
but
it out.
Sexy.
You did, epic,
Yeah, give me
epic.
a second.
I remember we scrimmed with Sexy, and I was being sincere. I was asking him, "Hey, are you guys like the Team Tesla?" And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, that's, sexy with a 3. That's like all the Tesla models in order of their release.
That probably went way above their heads. If I had...
No, they got it. They were like, oh shit,
really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, the S came out first, then the 3, then the X, then the Y.
Yeah. Dude, there's not even a Tesla dealership in my state. It's wild. You see plenty of them though.
There's so many Teslas here.
Yeah, we got the Rivians. I live right across the street from the Rivians, one of their headquarters or something. And I see those Rivian trucks like 10 a day.
Yo, we got Ubers with Teslas around here.
Cool.
I mean, is it?
I mean, dude, I went to Silicon Valley a few years back, and I looked next to me at a red light, and there's a fucking car with like a bunch of like cameras and sensors all over it, and no one inside of it. Like not even like a chaperone. It was just an empty car. And I was like, holy shit! Like this is the future, man. I can't wait.
Well, so
Dude,
that's
I
the
wouldn't
that's the other side
own
of
a
it.
car, will you? Like you don't need to own a car in the
No,
future.
you
Like,
can
you'll
you
just
can
fucking
share.
own
Here's the
your
thing.
automated car.
Well, here's the thing. You could share own a car because while you're at work, your car could be out Ubering and making you money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you won't own a car in the future. You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
It's SaaS. The
BlackRock.
SaaS model will get applied to cars.
BlackRock's buying out all the real estate, man. It's one day you're just gonna rent everything, and there's gonna be just like including cars or just like share own or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
He's
be
right,
awesome.
man. Nevada, heck, Nevada owns less than 30% of Nevada.
Crazy.
China just bought a bunch of farmland in the U.S.
Not surprised.
Smart. I mean, smart on them, man. At some point, the people who own land are gonna be like kings.
That's
I mean, I
already
like
been
that.
the deal for thousands of years.
That's true.
Because if China's got a bunch of farmland in the U.S., that's like a lot.
It's a
little
nice
shady,
stopgap
I
against
think.
their own and stuff.
Yeah, but just having us like have that relationship is probably a good thing overall.
Well, I don't really see us going to anything with them. They own too much of our debt, and there's nothing for them to gain from like going to an actual war with us. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. I had that conversation with 2 people from China, maybe like a week ago.
They were like, "Screw
students-
that, we kill you."
No, it was weird though, because they weren't. I kind of got the impression that they weren't able to really speak freely because they spoke perfect English. They were young college kids, and they'd just been here for like a year, but they study English in like every grade in China. So pretty much like I think all the Chinese students, depending on where they're at, are gonna all be fluent in English by the time they're done with high school. But I asked them about Taiwan, and the guy wasn't saying much, but the girl was speaking a lot, and she was like, he goes, "Oh, another sensitive subject," when I brought up Taiwan. And then I, because I was just like, "So, what do you guys think about that? Like, Taiwan used to be part of China, but then they went separate, and how long ago was that?" And then, so basically what she said was like, well, obviously we believe that Taiwan is part of China,
Right.
and then said the rest of it. And I was like thinking to myself, like, does she really believe that, or is she feeling like
It's
you
like the
can't speak
script.
freely even here?
Yeah, I've got a friend from China who tells me like, no, Taiwan's part of China. What are you talking about? Like, he won't even consider
here's the
an
thing.
alternative.
It technically, even as I understand it correctly, even under the Taiwanese like government, they believe they are China. So like, there is a point where I can actually see both sides being technically correct in a grammatical sort of way. Because Taiwan was formed by when the government of China left China when Mao took over.
Is that
Right?
what happened?
Yeah.
So the U.S.
That's-
recognizes Taiwan as its own independent country.
Right, but it's its own
As a
independent
patriot,
China.
I
We had to
believe-
stop calling it
US
China.
believes that.
Well, I'll tell you what. If my electronics are gonna say "made in one" or "made in the other," I think you know which one I would prefer.
Korea?
No, Taiwan, man. They got Asus. They got a bunch of good stuff. Taiwan's like one of
Oh,
the
so
best.
great,
for,
great hardware, terrible follow-up firmware. That was an
maybe,
Asus
I don't
joke.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I've had a lot of Asus stuff that lasted a good amount of time, but eventually it all had problems. But I don't know. Some of the stuff lasted 10 years, which is pretty good for a
I
computer.
feel like I was gonna say the computer stuff I've gotten of theirs has been phenomenal, but like I had an Asus tablet and an Asus smartwatch, and they both just went to crap after like a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I had problems with all my Asus stuff, but never within a year. It was always at least a couple.
You know, it's crazy. I feel like most people think of Apple as the bad guy, but it's like it's American, and I'm a Samsung fanboy. Sorry,
You what? A Simpson fan?
Samsung. But yes, I also
Oh,
love The
Samsung?
Simpsons. I do love The Simpsons. I can deny that.
Oh yeah, I got the. I'm talking to you guys watching the match on the Z Fold 3, the big folding tablet phone from Samsung.
Epic.
It's pretty awesome. Oh, here's a funny thing. I was a Lyft driver up until a few weeks ago. I didn't know why they fired me, and I finally found out by checking old emails. I guess I just didn't notice, but they fired me for multiple complaints about me watching TV while driving.
Yeah, that's something that they should complain about.
I mean, dude, they complain about everything. It's honestly like it's maddening that people complain about stuff, and
I mean,
like,
but
it's
that's
true.
really
It's true.
unsafe.
I watched Fear Factor all day at work 2 days ago.
Don't get me wrong.
Like, literally just watching Fear Factor.
I do the same thing. I drive and watch stuff, but I'm not driving other people for money.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Guys, I do the podcast thing. I don't actually watch anything.
Yeah,
like, when I'm-
neither do I. I just listen.
when I'm watching, I'm not actually watching. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not trying to get in an accident. Like, I love my car. I love my safety and my well-being. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a safe
Yeah.
driver. I'm just glancing at it every now and then, like you glance at your navigation map. It's the same thing.
Sure.
But people get crazy, man.
Oh, dude, I've been known because I've got a magnetic mount on the dash that's like right at eye level, so I don't really have to look away from the road. I will straight up play games while driving.
Oh, that's too much. Can't. I mean,
Not
if
like
it's
not like in an
turn-based, maybe.
intense game, but like like an RTS or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
I will occasionally engage on Discord while driving, but like only on the interstate when like you're just kind of like in auto anyway.
When it's in when it's in cruise control, and it's not self-driving, but it's the adaptive, so it like slows down if there's a car in front of me.
Guys, cruise control is basically autopilot, so it's okay.
There's a Simpsons
Well, on
reference
the
for that.
Toyotas, it is in certain Toyotas. The Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, it steers for you if cruise control's on.
Whoa.
Like, it's not just the lane assist, where if you
Yeah,
go
it's
into
not
the
just the-
dotted
it's not
line,
the
it beeps
bump.
and then turns you back towards center.
Right.
This is like steering the whole time, keeping you centered.
Holy cow!
It works good, man. I did it for a trip from Daphne, Alabama, across the bridge to Mobile, Alabama.
That's a
Nice.
lot of
And
trust.
It was like, I don't know, 15 miles, and I didn't have to touch the brakes, the gas, or steer until like after I had gotten off the exit. Because
You,
it'll
use
just
it
follow
in
the
that
car in
tunnel?
front of you.
That Mobile tunnel, though, man.
Oh
that's
yeah, where it makes the hard left when you're coming across, and it makes the hard
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Hey, wait,
dude.
when did Universal jump in here?
What's up, Uni?
I've just been chilling.
You're
hey.
not playing in this one? Oh, they brought in High. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
My
welcome,
ping's
sir.
Too much for button clicks.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't register when it's high enough.
Just loving the
Man, that was a-
automobile talk. It's cool.
Yeah, that was a fun off-topic little rant we went on there. I like
I
that.
would say totally on topic.
The
What do you
the
mean?
chat seemed to actually like it as well. Lots of little bit of commenting about it being like a podcast.
Yeah,
Now,
like
what is
if
up with right lane driving? Oh, It's left lane driving. Jeez.
We thank Universal for coming out, but unfortunately he had to step out of the booth.
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with airline food?
Airline peanuts. Yeah.
Hey, let's talk China Hyperdash because so I don't know if everybody knows this, but apparently Hyperdash is available in China, but they have all exclusive servers so that you can't play with them.
And that is some crazy shit.
No,
I've seen
that's
some of
just
their videos.
that's a long game. That's the long game. They're gonna open those servers up in a year and they're gonna destroy us.
No, see, that's the thing. I've seen a lot of their videos and actually I've reached out and talked to a few of the people who are part of that. And you'd be surprised. All of them who've watched our videos say like we're way better players. Like it's not quite the same. They don't really have the sprint strafing or aim or anything that we have. I mean, the best thing you can say about their top players is decent aim, but that's it. And you're right, yet. And that's the thing. Their market is so much bigger than ours. I mean, we're talking literally over 1 billion people.
Yeah, we fixed the name tags.
They may not have, they might not have the opportunities to do really cool stuff. So like, you never know. Like, it could be a 7-year-old who gets Hyperdash, and then he just really takes to it, and then he's still got his like development process to like learn things faster than adults do, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
You can see it in this game right here with .com. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
And for all of us old school people, we all watched Odd,
Yeah,
So-
you're right. Well, Odd's an adult now, so we can say whatever we want about him. and
Is
how
he
bad
really?
is. Odd is 18 years old. How crazy is that, man?
Wow, dude,
I swear to
we're
God,
all
we watched him go
dinosaurs,
through
man.
puberty and become an adult.
I know, like the first season 0 playing against Odd, and
Right. Right.
I always give Odd props. Everybody has always been making fun of him since the beginning. I've tried to do my best to not make fun of him whatsoever and give him props, but man, we saw him go from like, okay guys, we're gonna come over here, and I got the Commentator coming out next week, and now he's like, yo dude, I'm gonna,
It's insane. No, I mean, look, Odd's always been like one of the, if you made one of those Hyperdash like Rushmores, Odd would have to be a part of it. He's been an integral part of the community. He started that 4D clan that was so big, and Ark was such a fixture in Dash League for so long.
I would say so.
He's definitely been a huge part of this community and this league, and he's still around, which is awesome. But he's going to college next year, and I hope that he stays, man.
Yeah, I think he'll probably not be the leader, but probably be a player on the team, kind of a thing.
I would love to see him be a player on my team. That'd be epic.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna say, man, because he wasn't always super, super good. He became good, like I used to kick his ass, and now, like, yeah, right.
I mean, lots of people they put in the time and they get so good. Like Flippy, when he first started playing, he was just like a shotgun noob who hit in corners, and now look at the dude, he's crushing it.
Hey man, if it works.
It did not work. It did not work, Flippy. It did not work.
Dude, the old shotguns were so ridiculous, man.
Yep.
I watched
sniper shotgun.
I rewatched
that stuff was absurd.
The first match for the crown ever, recently, which was UNSC versus Elite.
Yeah.
And Elite was kind of like they basically they decided to create the Dash League during like a poker match, and then before they announced it, they snatched up all the best players at the time. So Elite was like the cherry picked, like it was like an asshole move, right? And like the only reason I missed it was because Fathead's like, "Yo, dude, you coming for poker tonight?" And I was like, "Oh man, yeah, not tonight." And so I missed it.
Ouch.
so then I go and like the next day. There's a Dash League all of a sudden, and like UNSC is the first team to challenge Elite, who was basically an all-star team at that point, and we ended up winning. We had Taser. Actually, it was me, Taser. Style Dev played the second map, I think. I'm trying to think who else was there, but basically
Titan, right?
Yeah, no, Titan wasn't. He was a bench player. He wasn't one of our top players at the time. He got kind of better. He got better later in the season where we started playing him more. But yeah, I grabbed the shotgun, jumped on the cart. This is back before we didn't really know on Canyon if somebody could even make it to the finish,
Right.
you know, against the top team. And so
Whoa.
like, I grabbed a single offhand shotgun or main hand shotgun, and just pistol in the other hand, and I 1-2'd like the two cart guardians and shot them both off the cliff, like with one
Nice.
shot. Like, because the moral of the story is the shotguns back then, you could stand on the top of waterway and just basically kill everybody sniping across the map. It was
Yep.
pretty. Yeah.
It's
So, yeah,
crazy
sorry-
how
sorry
much
for my rant.
evolution there's been in this game. I mean, I recall a time when there was the bathroom line to pick up the staples. They were the best gun by far. I mean, you
Oh
could
yeah,
laser
that's all I
across the map.
used. That's why I suck these days, is because that's all I used with staples. And then they nerfed the staples and made SMGs better, which I checked my stats the other day. I only have like 400 kills with SMGs, but I swear every time I grab dual SMGs, I'm fucking shit up.
I teach
should
a
probably
learning
just
NX
use them a
and
lot.
SMGs Tuesdays at 7.
Yeah, no, every time I pick them up, I just crush everybody with
Oh,
them.
dude,
but
they're
I just think to
absurd.
grab them.
I
mean,
call them the
SMGs
minigun. So if you get two of them,
Yeah,
it's
I can
just
see that. I'd love to see an actual minigun implemented into this game. That'd be pretty cool.
dual SMGs. That's exactly what it is.
So Spoon's opting to hide in their base during a countdown instead of holding the button down. They do counter. They get the button back slightly, but I mean, it's a lot of back and forth here.
A risky move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
I don't think it paid off, man. They didn't get the point.
Yeah, holding the shocks, it makes you want to stand back and spam, but it's such a fast-paced game. Getting the timing of your shock to hit the pillar right as they go to touch it, it just doesn't stop them from touching it.
Well, and
That's
this
right.
map's so wide open in spaces that the shocks are too slow. They're just way too slow. Rockets, you
I
could
don't
probably
think
pull
the
that move
shock
off.
is a great gun for
Not
this
to
map.
mention, there's not enough shock pickups to like justify the time it takes to get two of them. And in this game in general, you want to have two of any weapon that you're holding. It's like weapon combos can be fun, and only a handful of people I've seen use them successfully, like Taser. I mean, but
Challenge.
Taser, you know, give Taser anything and he'll make it work. He's like an enigma, but at the same time, I do feel like you really wanna use two of the same weapon, no matter what the weapon is.
Challenge, rocket shotgun.
Yeah, and Taser's like one of the only players out there using the oldest headset, and not only using it but dominating with it.
Like I said, Taser's an enigma. I mean, that guy's like top 100 in the world in Beat Saber, and like just watching
Whoa,
him play
what?
any video game is crazy. Oh yeah, you know, Taser's
I did
insane,
not know
man.
that.
Like, oh yeah, he's like an absolute monster at VR in general.
So, on the topic of hacks and mods and unethical, if not illegal,
By the way,
manipulations
Dash
of
League
the
Network
game
in no
software.
way supports hacking of any kind for this game or other games on VR. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah, no, and I don't support that either, man. So what I'm saying is, it's very possible that certain connection types, you know, like if you're in an apartment complex versus having a dedicated fiber line or whatever, you know, there's differences.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems like things are a little different these days, that maybe there's some tomfoolery afoot.
I mean, there's
I
still
wouldn't even
there's
say
still
that.
the
I
Steam
think
the Steam
quality
connection,
of the
right?
Servers, the quality of the servers have dictated quite a bit of differences in these games, and you see it the way it plays out in who wins any interaction when maybe they shouldn't have. I personally think that as soon as they change to like a better server provider, that like advantage that you get from having a certain specific type of internet connection will go away. Because
But
it
you'll
didn't
still
used to be that
see
way.
you'll still see the difference between like Aussie servers and stateside. Like you're still
I mean,
gonna
but there
see
should
that
be,
difference.
right? I mean, but you should see a ping difference. That's not what we're talking about. What we're
No, I
talking
know.
about is like a certain type of packet loss and things like that. That like, you know, buffer boat.
The
that, like,
mythical lag button.
Unbalanced pings. That's another thing that's not really terribly often talked about. Someone who has like a higher upload than download, or vice versa. There are just so many nuances, and that really, I think that's the key to it. If you have an unbalanced ping, someone could go around peekersing the shit out of everyone, and you would literally never see them on your screen, but they would see you, and there's just no way to really combat that. And you see that in certain playstyles too, that accentuate the problem.
Well, but is
I
that
do think
accentuating the
that-
problem, or is that somebody getting good at their internet?
Getting good at the internet, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, is that what the intention of the game is.
Yeah, so
But is
so
that
if-
something that anybody has control over? I mean, if I call up Verizon and complain and say my download's not the same as my upload, they're going to tell me to go F myself.
100%.
Yeah.
But
So
at the same
here's the
time,
thing.
it's a thing that can be changed so that you don't.
Yes,
get
you
reported.
can. You
True.
can manipulate your downloads and your uploads. You could do it in a way that's not even against the rules. And I'm not going to say what way that is, obviously, because I don't want to put it out there. But like, I've been aware of this problem since I've been here since Alpha 3. It was the virtual, just like most of us who found the game in the early days, it was that virtual reality Oasis video that said like one of the best shooters on Quest is blah blah.
I mean, it's
And,
still hands
jump-
down.
Oh yeah, I mean, and this game is so good that's why it really bothers me, man. Because for one, I've been gaming for
Years.
3 decades, more
Yeah.
than 3 decades, and like I've been playing competitively a lot of these games. Like I was number 17 ranked in Team Fortress Classic as a sniper.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love that game for sniping. By the way, it's the best sniping dynamics because you don't have a tunnel vision when you zoom. They don't
nice.
do the artificial blockout. They keep you the full screen, but you hold the trigger down and then your laser dot appears, and then the longer you hold it, or your mouse button rather,
The more
the
specific it
longer you
gets.
hold it, then the more the laser dot grows brighter and brighter, and then you get to full strength, and then if you get a full strength headshot, it kills everybody except for the heavy weapons guy. But yeah,
Dang.
it was great. It was super fun. And you could fly across the map like concussion grenades or regular grenades or rocket jumps. Like if you hit a concussion grenade and flew across the map with it, like you'd drop one in front of you as you're running, and then you'd jump, and then it would blast you across the map. But it would also completely destroy your visuals. Like you'd be swirling around like you were drunk, basically.
Well, and correct me if
But
I'm
you
wrong.
could
That game
still-
was based on the first Unreal Engine, right?
Right. Well, it was the orange box. So it's Half-Life, the Half-Life engine.
Yeah. Which became which was
that Unreal?
which was Unreal.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, and back in the day, it
Yeah,
was
it
like
was.
Tribes. Remember Tribes with the jetpacks?
Oh yeah.
That was such a sweet
Because
game.
we're talking like CS2 at this point, right?
Yeah, or even before that. Yeah. Counter-Strike 1.
1.5, baby.
So yeah. So speaking of hacks, so I got a Counter-Strike hack. I didn't play. I always played Team Fortress Classic instead of Counter-Strike. I just thought that one bullet kills were annoying. Like I liked Halo, where you had a little bit of a shield that would replenish. So you
Battlefield versus Call of Duty. That's all that is.
Yeah, you could like duke it out a little bit and then hide, and then you might survive. Versus like some of those games where whoever sees the other person first
It's the
wins
winner.
because you
Yep.
just one hit.
Yeah, Game
Yeah.
of Makers.
It sounds
Yeah,
like you
so-
played Scouts only.
I didn't like the Scouts that much, and I wasn't that great at the Scouts. Like I don't know. Scouts were definitely, if you were the shit at this game, like if you're like Destroyer
Wow, that was close. Another
or-
countdown.
or like Percent or
They got
somebody
the
like
first
that,
point. There.
Yep, that was the point.
they're probably gonna play a Scout.
Was it? Yep, there it is.
Oh, great.
That was like half the game though to get that first point. Wow.
Yeah. Well, these
Oh,
are
yeah, Corey's
pretty
like a mother.
evenly matched. Now that Universal's obviously not in the match, that's just
Now, are you saying that as a
Compliment.
good thing or a bad thing?
It was kind of like the Killers lyrics. It's however you want to interpret it.
Okay.
But I meant it as a compliment.
Sure.
Oh yeah, so real quick on the hacking thing. So I played Counter-Strike sparingly, but sometimes I'd check it out. Well, I found this guy in a random game, and he was just flying through the air, shooting everybody in the head instantly, flying through walls, doing everything, straight God mode like you wouldn't believe. Like you could just, you could, like it was auto fire and auto aim on headshots. And so all you'd have to do to clear the entire map over and over and spawn camp all you want, all you'd have to do is hold the forward movement button and that's it. Right? And I used it, right? So I talked to the guy. I was like, dude, that's so crazy. What kind of hack are you using? That's crazy. And so I just started talking with the guy in the game, and then he's like, yeah, man, here, hit me up on Discord or well, I don't
Whatever
even know.
it was at the
wasn't
time.
Discord. But yeah, whatever.
AIM.
Yeah, it was like what was that old
IRL.
ICQ?
IRC.
Is that it? Well, it wasn't IRC. What's the one with the flower logo?
I thought that was
You know what I'm
I thought that
talking
was
about?
based on IRC.
I think it's based on
It was
IRC,
Merc, right?
but it's. Oh man, what's the name of it? You know what I'm talking about? The icon was like a flower, with petals, like a centerpiece and then petals.
Yeah, I want to think it was like MIRC or something like that.
No, it definitely wasn't MIRC because I remember that one too, and that's that's the dark web. I don't want to go there, but yeah. So man, I can't remember the name. It's a super popular worldwide communication
Hold on,
platform.
I'm sitting at a computer. Give me a second.
Back from the days of AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, like before AIM even. But it had the petal logo, like the flower. It was like a flower
Was
with
it?
petals.
It wasn't.
and then,
Okay, it wasn't that. ICQ, I think might have been it.
yeah, ICQ. Yeah. I think it was ICQ. Yeah. So anyways, we're talking, and the guy goes, yeah, here's the link to download the hack, and then so I installed it and downloaded it, and yeah, you could just
And
like
then your computer started mining Bitcoin for him.
No, this is way before Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin didn't exist for more than 12. No,
Yeah,
this
no,
was
a
the-
long time.
this was the
15 years.
mid-90s.
15 years before it. Yeah.
No, the late 90s. Late
Oh,
90s.
so like 15.
So basically, back then they had the hacks to do every possible thing you could imagine. So of course, if you're gonna try to use a hack competitively,
That's
then
gonna be a-
you
Ooh.
have to. Oh shit!
Oh, this could be it.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh,
dun,
slight
dun,
counter,
dun,
but
dun,
could he get
dun,
it
dun,
again? And that's gonna be
Tying it
a
up.
point. That's gonna be a point. There it is.
Oh.
Tied up.
That's a nice button hold right there.
By the way, you can still download ICQ. Their website is up to date.
That's
Oh, yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
That's
people
wild.
still on
Did
it.
people actually use it? Really? When Discord exists, I feel
No,
like
no. Listen, some of the most elite people in the world, like
Yep.
the most like Zuckerberg and those guys, they're using ICQ.
Convert
For sure.
audio messages to text. Use smart replies and stay online even with bad internet. That's a pretty solid sell.
So is it still owned by AOL?
sorry,
or
say that
is
again?
Is it
It
somewhere
says
else
that
now?
it says that it can convert audio messages to text. It can use smart replies and stay online even with bad internet connection. That's a solid hard sell.
with bad
Oh no, yeah, ICQ was awesome. I mean, it gave you like the advanced features of Discord, but like 20 plus years ago, and abilities to connect on the path less traveled.
This
Let's
is a
say.
quick countdown right here. They do counter it, but man, Force is starting to kind of get aggressive here.
So basically,
Dude,
what I was
it
getting
has
at,
push to talk. Straight up Nextel style.
Dude, I remember how fucking annoying Nextel was back in the day. You'd be in public,
Yeah.
and someone's just like beep, and they're like screaming in their phone like, "Bitch, I done told you." I'm like, damn, you gotta keep your conversations private. Like,
It was the best. Those days were the best, dude.
But
Free
there's
speech at
still
its
never
peak.
been there's never been another like wireless service that offers anything even close to what that was.
I know, and I never had one myself, but my best friend at the time had one, and man, it was the coolest thing. Like, because everybody knew, like, not to just blow their friend up, like, saying something random, super loud, like, at a random time where they don't know where the person is, or even worse, they know that you're at a wedding or a funeral.
Don't
you know
do
what I mean?
it.
Like that. It just gives people the ability to cause problems. But besides that, man, it was an exercise of freedom of speech, man, because people were talking through those Nextels. It was so cool. I wish I would have had one.
Dude, I was on a bus from New York City to DC once from the
Countdown
Chinatown
and a
bus,
point for
if anyone
sexy.
knows about that. Oh, nice.
Whoa.
There we go.
Oh,
So
damn,
they go up
Lucas.
ahead with another point. That's crucial. The second point's huge in this map. And so yeah, I was taking the Chinatown bus from New York to DC, and just like someone was having a loud ass conversation on their Nextel, and the bus driver pulled over and just like said, "All right, dude, hang up the phone, or I'm kicking you off this bus." And everyone like clapped, and I'm not even kidding. It's not one of those like fake everyone clap situations. It was like everyone was
yeah.
just, like, so relieved, like holy shit, like we've been dealing with this loud ass conversation while we're trying to sleep or whatever for like.
Dude,
20
that is
minutes.
why they failed. It's because those speakers were not like the speakers that we have on our phones. Those things were
No.
like industrial construction worker level speakers.
You're right.
Yeah.
That
You're
was the
right.
target customer.
You're right. It probably
Oh,
was.
for
I mean,
sure.
honestly, like
No,
I hear
it was.
people, I hear people in my company all the time talking about how they used to love Nextel back in the day, before I ever started there, and it's kind of hilarious. Like a bunch of
Dude,
boomers who were like, "Oh
Arrowhead's
man, you had a
crushing right now,
walkie-talkie
by the way.
on your phone."
Dude, you know what's crazy about that? We could recreate it today
And it would suck.
with software. Well, not if we made it, but
Well, no,
with
you
software,
can't do it with
we
software.
Could create it today.
You can't.
You're absolutely right.
The permissions on it don't allow it, especially between iPhone and Android.
Well, let's say for a
Like
second.
yes, there's already software that
for
does
iPhones.
intercoms, but you can't.
Okay,
the
so-
push to talk was a direct solid connection, and it only worked within Nextel's network.
Right.
Oh,
it
yeah,
only
yeah,
worked
yeah,
from
right.
Nextel to Nextel, but I mean.
But
I
that
think
was
that's
that
the
was a
reason
big
why.
piece of it, was that their network, they were guaranteeing the connection.
That's an extremely amazing point you just made. But the thing is, it would be indirect push to talk instead of direct.
So an intercom.
So it would take an extra second. Or,
Yeah, but
or
that-
it would have to
that's
process, but it
in-
would still work.
World's faster now than it was then. You think that would actually fly?
No, yeah, you're right. So back then, that's instant. That's what was so beautiful about it, is that it was literally like an instant. You're just hearing it.
It was a doorbell intercom to your friend wherever they are.
But what if it took a quarter of a second of
Point.
lag,
Oh,
but it still
saved.
worked?
You know, I had a physics teacher once explain to us why like cell phone satellites can't be geosynchronous, because there would create like that little bit of lag. And he was explaining to us, like, in a conversation, you really need to be able to like laugh and react in real time. And so any amount of lag just ruins the dynamic and makes it basically unusable.
So I work in
Same with
telecom
gaming.
and doing fiber optic stuff. And the crazy thing is that all these 5G towers that are getting built up, they're all connected by fiber, right? One fiber pair, just single 2 fibers, has the capacity for half of the world to be on a telephone call with the other half of the world.
That's wild.
And there's so much fiber already in the ground that it's over 200 billion miles, which is enough to go to and around the sun and back 20 times.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. I have fiber to my house, and it terrifies me because like it's glass.
Oh,
So
Fios.
it's, you know, someone comes breaks it, then all of a sudden I'm like. in
It's
the hole
actually
for whatever.
surprisingly durable.
Sure.
And
but
this
like, I mean, it
countdown.
can happen.
What the heck?
There you go.
I don't. It's not
Hold.
really a sustainable
Yeah.
countdown. But, you know, they're holding the button.
Yeah, I mean, they got the
And
whole
that's
team
another
at
one.
B.
Oh.
It's not quite sustainable.
No, it was,
3
what threw
players
me off
up.
was the countdown went to like 3, and then it stopped, but the actual clock was at 3 too.
Oh right, yeah. 3
So I was like,
minutes.
why did the
Gosh.
counter stop at 3? I don't get it. The countdown always stops at 1 on the show.
Yeah, if you got 3 people holding the button at B,
It's not gonna
probably
work.
Gonna score.
Yeah, no.
It could though. I mean, props to them for trying. That's like, I mean, you know, it shows that the people who were at B are doing as much as they possibly can at the time.
That's true, and that's a countdown for sexy reversed.
Right now, if I'm sexy, I'm honestly not even trying to score. I'm trying to prevent the score because I mean, a minute and 19 seconds left, and you're gonna win this map, and we'll get
Yeah,
that
it's all
control.
positional play. Yeah. Yeah, just control your entrances, exits.
Not even, dude. I would send 5 fucking players to B, and we're just gonna hold that goddamn button down for the life of us. Like,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like everybody's advancing, but advancing a little more cautiously. Rather, like this is one of those games that it kind of throws. Like there's a certain strategy for first-person shooters that is tried and true, and it works for all first-person shooters.
Hyper aggressive.
What? However, well, no,
That's a
no,
countdown
not-
for
not
sexy.
most.
2, 1.
Not most, but in
we're gonna
this
try to
game,
finish this.
It's gonna be
Oh,
game
so close.
if Force doesn't take it right now. They've got 30
Force
seconds.
has to score. I mean, they don't even
Absolutely.
have 30 seconds. They've got 25 seconds because they will not count a countdown, even if it's like 3, 2, 1. If the time runs out, it's over. You don't.
It's
get
over.
the-
It doesn't
you don't
get. It doesn't go into any sort of overtime just on the countdown.
only
Right.
only if it's tied, yeah. But
Well, no, I mean it
But
doesn't
yeah,
extend
no,
it by a second. That's a good point.
in this game,
So right now, 5 seconds left to get the countdown initiated.
Yep.
2 seconds.
And
left,
that's
1
gonna be
second.
it.
And this is game. This is game. It's over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sexy
they
takes
do
it.
thing now.
It's impossible to tie it up.
So
now.
wait,
This is over. And
Now that's
Sexy wins.
1-1.
once they hit the countdown,
We have to go to.
no, that's it.
No, I'm saying.
surprised that this counter reset to 59.
Oh, yeah, no, that's it.
Not something I've ever seen before. But that's it. So we're going to control
Weird.
point.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So,
Force won the payload.
Epic play here. I'm not even sure who's really more suited for the control point. To be honest, I don't know out of these two teams.
Oh, you know what? Get one of those.
Wait, did they? Oh yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, we're one of
Goblin.
them here, so we gotta go to another map.
Destroyer once again crushing 85
Look at
kills.
those scores, man. Everybody's over 10,000.
Brutal. Well, I mean it's that map.
Yeah, it's a long drawn out battle.
It's the only map that's like that too. None of the. I mean, Abyss is long, but it's still just a payload. That map, Quarry. It's a completely different game than every other map. Just it's huge. You can literally
Yeah, I
be
hope-
multiple
I hope
places
they
and
get
not
more.
see multiple other places with other teammates and enemies.
Yeah, I mean it's a great map. Actually, UNSC focused on Quarry last season.
It showed.
I'm always at like a place like I want to commentate, I want to speak the truth, and I hate censorship. But if my team is doing a current meta, I don't want to say too much about it. It's always been my struggle with commentating, but I can say since it's last season, I guess. But yeah, we focused a lot on Quarry and just communication, knowing the pathways that they can infiltrate and making sure there's call outs every single time, things like that. Like basically we haven't figured out everything yet, but we have figured out how to do pressure. So if you look at the ARC match, UNSC versus ARC, that's the match to study on Quarry, because by the statistics we dominated them. They ended up winning. I think it was 3-2 or 2-1 or something like that. But we had way more countdowns, way more control. They were better at finishing
Winning.
the score, finishing the countdown, finishing the score itself, the countdown score. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, what you're saying is applicable to every map, though. I mean, knowing
And every
the lanes,
competitive
knowing the lanes
game
and the
ever.
routes, and then having that level of communication is everything. It really is.
Well,
in
what I'm
every
saying
map.
is we dominated the map real estate.
Uh-huh.
We had all the countdowns. We had all the pressure. We just weren't as good at
Closing.
Honestly, I think it's like holding the button with 3 bodies. That's what it takes. Sometimes just getting everybody there.
Well,
'Cause
or did
we
they
were
kill?
down-
Did they get you guys on team wipes?
No, not
it was.
really.
I was trying to give you an out, man.
I don't know. I would have to rewatch it, but it's definitely a good one to see if you're trying to figure out Quarry as a team. That's the map. That's the match to watch. Is ARC versus UNSC this past season on Quarry.
Wonder if there's a way where I can have that waiting in the about.
Because there's like There's some very interesting things that happen during that match and the way the stats go along with it. And I think you have to go to the Dash League website to see all the counters and button presses and all that.
It's interesting to see how people approach domination. I do know a lot of people think that pressing the button is the name of the game, and it's really not. It's controlling the button. So it's like not just a press, but being able to actually maintain the button being held in your favor, which includes button holding, but also includes killing and everything else involved. Sometimes you'll see people throw themselves at a button and then maybe even back off and purposely allow an enemy to counter it so they can get the points, because a lot of people do focus on building up their personal points. And ultimately, the team that wins is typically the one that doesn't over-focus on hitting the button, but rather killing everyone around the button and then maintaining the control of the button through a button hold or what have you. Like you said, a 3-person button hold is significantly better than one person hitting the button 6 times and letting the other team counter 6 times.
Oh yeah, I mean, and when you have multiple people holding the button, if you're the last person who can get there for your team, what are you possibly gonna do?
Right, that's exactly it. I mean, that's oftentimes the difference. And sometimes you'll see people prefer to get the kills and not want to hold the button because they don't want to sacrifice their KD. I mean, a lot of this game is dropping your pride and doing what it takes to win.
Oh yeah, if people are still thinking about their KD in competitive matches at this point, that's it. Like, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll kill your team if you're just more concerned about your personal stats than the actual game. Alright, so we're seeing control point get started. This map often goes all the way to almost 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good
and
one.
this is almost a reverse of what I said earlier. You can really throw someone at a button over and over and over again and make it part of your meta as long as the rest of the team is compensating for that. I've seen it work successfully, and then again, I've seen other teams who know about that and know how to counter that super well. So like if they have one person just throwing their body at it, they kill them and immediately counter, and then they never get control of the button back. This is an interesting map because as simplistic as it is, and it really is super simplistic, it's also pretty complex. Very much like a single barrel Blanton's.
Yeah, Blanton's, man, dude. I am embarrassed that I never really knew about Blanton's when I was growing up. Like,
It's all about
Buffalo
them pewter
Trace
horses,
is
baby.
Buffalo Trace is like the oldest still running whiskey distillery in the country.
Right.
It's actually Buffalo Trace Distillery is older than the United States is. Like, they've been making that shit for the entire time that the United States has been a country, and a few years prior to that. And Blanton's is apparently made by them, and it's like everybody knows that Blanton's is the best for the money. It's $60 for a fifth, right?
Yeah, and it was the only bourbon still made today that was still making bourbon during the Civil War, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they got all kinds of records like that. Buffalo Trace Distillery is like the OG best United States, awesome.
Absolutely.
And then they also make this thing called Blanton's, which is like it's very light colored. It's like a yellow color. It's weird.
Gold is what I would describe it, but yeah.
Yeah, gold.
Delicious is what I would call it.
Yeah. So I've only sampled it one time, and I was like, oh, that is very interesting and nice. But apparently, like, you can't buy it places because everybody just buys it when it comes in on the shelf.
100%. It's the most difficult thing in the world to obtain. It's so ridiculous. And I was saying that earlier. You know, I did so much homework, and I've had to like actually make friends with store owners and other people who are hunting to track down bottles of it. I've been successful in getting a few bottles. And the other day I was like in a game, and I'm talking to Jedi like, yo, I'm drinking bourbon again. It's been my like new thing lately. And he's like, oh, what's your favorite? I told him Blanton's. Dude looks it up. He's like, oh, my local store has like 3 bottles of like super rare Blanton's. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. So in Australia, there's not like a huge secondary market for Blanton's. In America, there is. And that's what makes the difference. If there's a secondary market for it, you can never fucking buy it because people buy it to sell it. And he could just go in a store and buy it. I'm like super jealous because I swear to God, I've spent at least 40 hours tracking down 3 bottles of it.
It's available all the time at our local ABC store here. It's not a thing.
Is it really? What state?
Yep.
What state?
Virginia.
You bastards. I'm gonna have to go to Virginia and just like take a road trip and get as many as I can. I wish, dude. You're saying you can actually get Blands just off the shelf, no big deal?
Well, yeah. See, the thing is, in the South, Blanton's is
Right.
well known. Everybody wants it, but in the North, the Midwest, the West, like I don't think most of the people even know what Bland's is.
Oh, you lucky sons of bitches, man. I wish, dude. Down here, anything Buffalo Trace, including Buffalo Trace itself, is basically considered allocated and next to impossible to find. I can get pretty decent availability on Buffalo Trace itself, but anything else they make is just like impossible. And I joined a few like Facebook groups recently, and to see the secondary market pricing on this shit, it's like outrageous and infuriating. Like people are trying to sell this $65 bottle for $300, and then you've got like 15 people saying like, "Yeah, I'll buy it." Yes way.
What marketplace?
Louisiana, man. Louisiana. I hear Texas is similar, but people will pay typically between 100 and 300, depending on how desperate they are for a bottle of Blanton's.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, I can't. I wish I could tell you I remember what it tasted like. I've only tried it one time, and I hadn't even heard of it until working at a Toyota dealership. I was selling Toyotas in, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4, in Alabama, and it was like, big dealership, and these guys were like whiskey aficionados, and man, they were like, they put up a bottle of Bland's. They're like, "Yo, whoever sells 2 cars today gets this bottle." And I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Hey, what is this?" And they're like, "You've never heard of Bland's?" And honestly, I can't believe that I never
Get out of
had,
here.
But I honestly, I feel like it's a southern thing more than a northern thing. Like,
Absolutely.
because I grew up in Michigan, but I lived in Alabama for 5 years, so I've experienced both cultures, and there's a lot of similarities and a few differences.
Dude, Bland's is great. I have to say, like, I actually, the first time I tried a bottle, I was hoping that I wouldn't love it. I was hoping it was overhyped, like people claim.
No.
Because that's another thing, like, especially around me. People will be like, it's overhyped. Just they're jealous they can't get it. They're pissed off that they can't get it. So even if they like it, they're gonna lie and say they don't like it. A, to protect their pride, and B, to stop you from wanting to buy it yourself. So that if they do come across,
Oh yeah, if there's something that's hyped up, I am always skeptical. But if I try it, whether it's a movie or a show or a liquor, if it's hyped up, I'm instantly skeptical. But then if I try it and it's legit, I'm like, oh my god, yes, and I'll jump on that bandwagon. Like it's not even a bandwagon. It's just about the truth,
It's the truth, and that's the sad part. I really wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate it when I tried it, and I was like, fuck, I really like this shit. Like, this sucks. So now I've got to build the collection at least. I need to spell out Bland's. That's another cool thing they do. So the toppers on the Bland's bottles have little letters on them, and the goal is to spell out Blanton's. So you get the B, the L, the A. The N. There's 2 different N's.
Oh, that's super cool, man.
Really?
I've got 5 of them so far. Different letters. I had to trade one of my letters.
You can't see the letter until you crack the bottle, right?
It depends. I mean, typically, yeah. I mean, plus, like, if I go to a store and find a bottle of Bland's, it's like because the store owner was cool with me and went in the back and pulled it out. Like, they will never have it on the shelf here, ever. You'll never find a bottle of Bland's on the shelf. You have to ask if they have it, and if they're like a cool store, they might just tell you yes. And if they're a normal store, they're gonna lie to you and say no unless they know you.
I don't know if you guys are watching the game or not,
That's
but it
awesome.
is one of the closest matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a great match.
Oh yeah, no,
Curious to see
I'm
how it
watching
ends,
for
but,
sure.
This match is really great. Like a bottle of Bland's.
No, seriously,
It's
we've all
smooth.
been watching the match the entire time we've been talking, and this is so close. These teams are both doing so badass. Like all the maps so far.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is incredibly close. Within 5 points of each other, they're back and forth, back and forth. This is like an NBA game, though. We'll get back to the game with the last like 20 seconds.
After this message from Blanton's.
Yeah, after this, like, last advertisement. But hey, by the way, if you're a rep from Buffalo Trace, like, hit me up. I will shout your shit out on everything I ever talk about if you give me free Blanton's.
Please drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly, but also send me a bottle of Blanton's.
Also, I have to say this because of the conversation earlier. We do not in any way encourage or suggest that you drive your car while watching movies on your phone or playing games. Do not do that.
Especially not
It's a bad
while
idea.
consuming bourbon.
Yeah, especially not
No,
while
look.
drinking.
If you are actually watching a movie while driving, you will crash and you are an idiot.
If you're driving a Tesla.
I was never actually watching. It was a glance. It's listening. Like if you're watching a documentary or something like that, or Fear Factor, you already know what the stunt is.
Who
Like,
are
they're
you lying to?
sliding down
Them
the
or us?
thing.
Them or yourself,
you know
man?
What I mean, like you don't watch it. You just glance at it, like you glance at your navigation.
Uh-huh.
Or
That's
like you
it.
glance at your rearview mirror. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
That being
I've
said, we
driven-
don't condone
Fear
or
Factor
suggest or
was the shit.
endorse
Can we talk about
driving
that for a
while
second? Like,
watching it.
why did Fear Factor even get canceled? It was like the best show ever. I think there was.
They
one
ran out of
specific
scary
episode-
things.
No, I can't remember.
No,
There was
it's-
one specific episode that like crossed the line, and they just like fucking canceled it right after that.
Oh, honestly, I've been rewatching them recently. Every episode crossed the line of today. You would
I mean,
not be able to put any
You're
of them
probably
on.
right. I'll look it
So-
up, and next time I
but-
cast, I'll
but-
talk about
Here
it.
it comes
There was one
down,
episode
last
I
20
remember watching
seconds.
where It's just like it really did go over the line, and it is coming down really close right now. Force seems to be trying to
You say that.
maintain a lead, but they did lose it, and now you've got Sexy with a 2-point lead. I mean, that's perfectly tied. Wow,
Sexy
15
lead is what it
seconds
is.
They need to just throw everybody at the button.
290
At this
to
point,
1.
At this
As
point,
you-
grab yourself some fucking shields and start holding some button because you just got so much time.
I mean,
so
I don't know
little
about
time left.
shields.
I would put the shield
you
down.
just gotta put the manpower towards the button. Like so often in CP, people
And here
just
it
wanna
goes.
run around the
Sexy takes
outside
it.
Those 2
getting
seconds,
300,
1 second.
boom.
Oh, there it is. Sexy does take it, but like with just a 6-second lead. Incredible.
Absolutely.
And there it is. I mean, that's it.
Here's your scores.
Well fought. Well fought after the
High.
first snap being a
Actually
loss
got the
and then
most points
coming
on
back
that.
with 2 wins.
Dominating that button along with Destroyer, and the kills. I mean, great job, great work, top to bottom though. .com pressing the buttons. I saw him grabbing rockets. I wonder if he had not gone for the rockets, had they been able to, probably do a lot better with the 6 seconds left. But
That's a theory.
hard to say. Nonetheless, a great match. I mean, wow, that's a super close one. 6 seconds. Either
What
team
a
could've
what
easily
a like
won.
an all-star match too. That's not an all-star game, you know.
Yeah,
I
dude,
know,
both these
these-
teams are strong teams.
They're so strong.
Right
Like-
now, though. Right now, I mean, Sexy, they did lose at least one match. I know Force lost. This is at least their second loss, if not more. So right now, I think that we're gonna probably see Sexy in the finals, not finals, the playoffs. I'd love to see an updated standing. I haven't been able to track that down. I've tried looking for standings and I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, to see these two teams that are draft league teams that have only played together, however many times in the past few weeks, they're looking like they're playing and looking like real teams for main season. That's
dang,
Yeah,
they
it's
just
pretty
straight.
the crazy part.
It's pretty legit. And our team's had a lot of fun playing these teams too. We're in the same division as those two guys. It's been kind of cool. We've got one game left against Colton's team. Excited to play that one out. But you're right. Some of these teams looking like all-star teams. Pretty crazy.
So
But
guys,
anyway, that was a fun match, and honestly, it was
really
even
fun.
more fun conversation. We should.
That-
we should.
that
Yeah,
was-
man,
that was
thank you guys
solid.
for having me, and I'm sorry I kept going so far off topic. I hope the players aren't upset with me.
No, you got to join us on our
There's gonna be loves and
upcoming
hates.
show. All talk, no dash.
ooh,
Oh, it sounds right up my alley.
hyper
Yeah,
talk.
it's a hyper talk. It's a Hyperdash podcast. You'll see coming your way soon.
Are you being serious?
Oh, dude, hit me
I'm
up.
being 100% serious. I'll hit both of you guys up.
Please do.
Give you an invite.
I'm down.
A Joe Rogan style show, but like centered around Hyperdash and life in general.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
I'm
Hell
down.
yeah.
It's everyone out there watching. Thank you for watching. This is Sexy versus Force. Sexy ended up taking it in the end, all the way at
Oh, hey,
the
and I
tiebreaker.
told you they would too.
That's true, you did call it.
My boy
Yeah.
Goblin, he's gonna start playing better, and they're gonna take it.
He's absolutely right. But anyway, I'm Mr. Popular. This was Percent and Moderation. Absolutely blast today. This is for Dash League Network. Y'all have a great day, and don't drive while watching movies on your phone.
That's right.
Yes, or you'll get canceled.
Yeah, by
you
like
guys.
life.
Alright,